Getting your business started, or if you're struggling with your business, trying to get those customers, trying to communicate what you do, you've always got to come back to the first one is your overall business strategy. And like we said, that starts with defining.
Hey, welcome to Vision to Success with Jason LeDuc.
Jason LeDuc from Evil Genius Leadership Consultants. I'll do the intros from now on, okay?
LeDuc.
No.
Okay, never mind.
Keep practicing. And
I
you
thought I got
are
it. Maria Maria Pureza.
Maria Pureza
Yes.
from social media shows.
Yes.
And a number of other things you know and love as well.
Yes, everything, yes.
Everything you know and love as well. So, well, we have an excellent show for you today. I'm really excited because we were looking to find a few guests for this week, but we kind of fell backwards into two guests we didn't anticipate we were going to have. So we have our first guest, Shelly Ray, was going to join us last week.
Later.
Or is she going to join us later?
Yes, yeah. Would you like to go grab something? Anyways.
And then we talked a little bit about our good friend Commander Bruce last week on the show, and he's going to be joining us later in the show as well. I'm really excited for all of you, if you don't know Commander Bruce, to meet Commander Bruce. So I'm excited about today's show.
Yeah, I'm so excited too, because like what you said, we fall behind, and then we end up with two guests today.
Yeah, I'm very excited about how it worked out. So
yeah, I know. Don't you think I have some magic in my hand? Like, when I put my magic wand.
When you say my name again in 2 weeks on the show, then we'll see if you have some magic.
Oh, sure. That's the magic on the mouth. The magic on the hand is when I put my hands on.
All right. Well, it's not that kind of show.
No,
so
that's not what I meant.
So let's get back to trying to provide some advice and some information, some knowledge for people in the Las Vegas area and beyond who are either interested in starting a business, have their own business, want to grow their business, want to scale their business. So let's talk about business.
Yes, well, let's talk about, like I keep on saying about this pandemic, this COVID-19 that's hit us, and everybody actually start shopping online instead of doing, and that's a part of our topic today.
Absolutely.
Yes, so I just seen this article on the business page about Amazon. Is it Amazon? Yes, it's Amazon who are actually... Oh goodness, I didn't do my my thing today. So have you seen the article about the Amazon?
I saw the top half of the article. I am no longer a subscriber to the Wall Street Journal. Because what I found, and I like the Wall Street Journal, nothing against the Wall Street Journal, but between reading our local paper and the business stuff in our local paper and reading the Wall Street Journal, I was spending like 4 hours a day reading the newspaper trying to get all that good information. So I decided a few years ago to let the Wall Street Journal go. And if something piques my interest, I figure out a way to go read it. So nothing against the Wall Street Journal. Really great journalism, especially business stuff. I love it. But I just was spending too much time reading the paper and not working on my business. So.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, it says over here, Amazon is the target of small business antitrust campaign. So what they mean about that is, I believe that they are doing some kind of plan, or not plan, the way they're selling to get small businesses out of business. Am I making sense?
Yeah, I think I understand what you're saying. So there are some groups around the country, and they are banding together. They are groups of small shops, merchants, that kind of thing. Some larger associations of different kinds of merchants. All kinds of different groups, people who would normally work independently, and they're working together on this, and they're trying to find, they're basically lobbying state legislatures and the federal government to try to create some stronger antitrust legislation, stronger antitrust laws that will maybe help Amazon not have as much of an advantage as it does in their eyes, or help small business owners compete on the same level with Amazon.
Yeah.
That's what's going on with that.
Yes, yeah. So, are you a big Amazon fan or no?
I just like the Wall Street Journal. I've got nothing against Amazon.
You just
I'm
digit.
not a big shopper, so I have used Amazon more. I've actually used it quite a bit in the last couple of weeks, just because there have been things I was looking for and didn't really know where to go get them. And that's a lot of times what I'll use Amazon for. Like I didn't bring it with me, but I'm trying to do more journaling, so I wanted a personal journal and a business journal. I wanted like a nice hardcover, not too big, not too small kind of thing. And I didn't want to go like looking through whatever they had at Office Depot or whatever it was. Again, nothing against Office Depot. Just I wanted to look at what the options were
We
that
don't
were
have
out
anything
there.
against any businesses.
Yeah.
Yeah, we wanted to.
But Amazon had actually some really nice ones that were really cheap, and they had all different colors, so I could get like one color was my personal journal, and one color was my business journal, and one color was my other things, other things I pursue. So I would just order like 3 or 4 of them in different colors, and now I don't even have to figure out where I left it. I just look around and go, the blue one is my personal journal. So I have used Amazon actually quite a bit more than I usually do recently.
I am. This is out of tangent. Actually, I am kind of like visualizing you as very organized in your office, kind of
I
thing.
am.
Like you have this, you have that. That's what I was kind of
When
seeing.
you can tell when things are going successfully for me, because the amount of time, the amount of organization in a given room in my house will be very organized. And so when things were very chaotic in my life, my kitchen was not a mess like dirty, but things get very cluttered, and I don't like clutter. So now, like, the office and the garage are the last little pieces of the house that have to get really, really organized. And so, like, the desk is really good, but the rest of the office
I
is
cannot
kind of a
see.
mess.
I cannot see you like the girl right next to me, but you cannot see her. That she's kind of that person to like. She has to have things in certain places. Like,
And I want to assure you, there is a girl right next to her. She's not imagining that. You just can't see. So anyway, what do you think about what's going on with Amazon?
well, you know what? I think, I'm a big Amazon shopper. It doesn't mean that I highly, I go with what they does, but that's the only way I can get things cheaper and faster. Actually, it's really fast. I don't need to walk to um, to a store and go in line. So I believe that I honestly there, and we're gonna talk about the brick and mortar later.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that.
Yeah, because but I'd rather like them to be brick and mortar than online, because this is some of the technologies that coming up in this generation that making us really lazy. I would say that.
Well, and that's a really good point, and I think I'll be very interested to watch what happens with these groups and the legislation that comes along. I think it's going to be very difficult for them, because
Yes.
Amazon, in a lot of ways, is really just a good competitor.
It's a hard competitor.
They're a hard
Tough,
competitor.
yeah.
So it'll be very interesting to watch. Part of the
Local.
challenge that they may want to tackle is Amazon, and along with Facebook and Google, they have a real. I'm not a lawyer, and I don't want to get into kind of how antitrust law is viewed right now, anyway, because I wouldn't do a good job talking about it anyway. But digital marketing is really controlled by a few large companies right now. That might be where you see some action on some of the antitrust stuff, is the marketing piece of this, and how, if you are selling, can you also control the marketing? Be interesting to watch. I don't know where it's going to go, but if you're out there and you're looking for a business idea, trying to create a platform that would help local businesses, brick and mortar businesses,
Yep.
have the same convenience and ease as Amazon, I think that would be a really solid business idea to look into. Build the tech platform, figure out the delivery aspects of it.
Yeah.
I think that,
And that's
like,
the expensive part is the delivery. I don't know how Amazon could do that. You know what I mean? Free delivery.
we can get into the business model of Amazon Prime another time, because like I said, I'm really excited about our guests. I really want to get them on right now, because
Yes.
we're a few minutes into the show, and
Yes.
I just want to get to our guests and have you meet our fantastic guests today.
Perfect. Yes. So yes, we will be right back with our first guest for the day. Welcome back to Vision to Success with my favorite person, Jason, and me.
And you, yes, I see we've dodged the issue of how to pronounce the name, which is okay. Sometimes in business, that's what you've got to do, is just kind of dodge the issue that's a sticking point and get to what's really going to work. And so let's get to what's really going to work. Why don't you introduce our guest?
Yes, our first guest today is my very good friend, the beautiful Shelly, who's been in business for over 18 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and go ahead and introduce what you do and who you are,
Okay.
how you get to Vegas, whatever you want to talk about.
Okay.
This is your stage now.
Oh, thanks. I'm Shelly Ray. I am 46 years old, and actually we just closed down a dog training business of 18 years and moved out west to go all online. Like, it's hard running a brick and mortar business and being, employees, overhead. People don't realize, and I know it's the American dream to run your own business, and we loved it for years. We helped so many people, so many dogs, so many families. I mean, it was amazing. I couldn't have asked for a better career to, spend most of my life doing, but it's hard. It is really, really hard these days, running a brick and mortar business. Employees, overhead, bills, just insurance. I mean, we would literally train people's dogs, and then, 2 months later, they would do a credit card reversal. So we provided the service. So I called the credit card company, and I'm like, okay, so I could go get a massage, and then a month later be like, I'm just not really feeling that relaxed anymore. Let me just reverse that charge. And then we're not talking $80 for a massage, $120. We're talking $1,200, $1,500, $1,600.
Wow.
And when you're a small business trying to survive, and you have stuff planned out and you're doing things, and then just stuff start getting ripped from your account because people don't follow through with what they're supposed to do with.
Yeah.
It can take a toll on you, and it makes you angry, really.
Yeah, well, you're watching your cash flow, and your cash flow is going at least less and less positive, if not more and more negative. And so don't do that. Don't reverse the charges if you got good service from somebody. But that's my little public service announcement there.
Absolutely. Don't do that.
So, and
come to me. Let's talk about it.
And pay attention to your cash flow if you have a business. That's probably the number one thing you need to pay attention to, especially for brick and mortar.
Yes.
So what are you doing now? You closed that business. What's your business now?
Yes. We work all online. CBD, CBG. I actually really got into telling people about Going Green, the hemp plant, after a huge transformation of my own. I've lost over 120 pounds. Getting off of pharmaceuticals, listening to the doctors, having a thyroid. When someone tells you have a disease or something's wrong with you, you more than anything set your mindset into that, and then that's just what you develop yourself into, more or less. So I got really overweight, and it was just a big thing. So we decided to, actually with COVID as well, it kind of hit a little harder than you would imagine. So we had to shut down and moved out here, but now it's all online. CBD, CBG. I like to teach people about Going Green, your endocannabinoid system in your body, and actually a few other things I have in the works as well. But to me anymore, it's all just going online, putting myself out there, making that connection with people, and not having to be hands-on 24/7 in a business.
That's awesome. So were you doing the CBD stuff before you shut down the other business? You were already involved in that. So you had diversified your business interests a little bit.
Yes. So we got into actually doing CBD with dogs.
Okay.
Because dogs have an endocannabinoid system as well. So when I started really getting into that, and with me and my weight loss transformation and being able to help behavioral problems with this stuff, anxieties, and this is just stuff that I've seen, I can put out there because I've seen it fix. Anxieties, health issues. You start putting that out there, and then you start getting your mainstream, the people who recommend you 24/7, your veterinarians, you start getting nasty messages from them, like I did. I literally got my business life threatened, and let me know that if I didn't stick to the training side and not the medical side, that he would not recommend another person to me as well. So then I started getting, when I started waking up and seeing that there's more things out there, then I started getting it from different sides than just, then they started threatening my business and my livelihood, and I don't take to that very kindly. I'm not a person that'll sit back and let somebody, oh, you shouldn't do that. You can't do that. Oh,
That's very interesting that you move from brick and mortar, to digital.
It hasn't
totally.
been easy, let me tell you. I mean, I lived on a 6,000 square foot home on 10 acres, owned 3 vehicles, a boat, a lake condo, and we've lost it all. I'm basically starting my life over from scratch at 46 years old, just because I refuse to live my life like that anymore. I refuse to trade time for money anymore. I refuse to let somebody tell me when and where I can't be somewhere. If I want to be somewhere, I will be there, but I will work online while I do it. I won't have an employee call in and be like, oh, I can't make it into work. That was one of the last things for me, is one of my last straws is we had a 27-year-old employee. And 2 years ago in October, his mother called in for him. She said, there's something wrong with Alex. I'm not really sure what it is. He won't be in today, and he may not be back until Monday. And, with HIPAA, we can't ask questions.
Right.
And, we were paying younger children. Well, not children, I shouldn't say. I mean, younger adults, just like any business does starting out, but we paid them well. And we taught them how we wanted them to run our dog training program. So basically, we put them through a school and then paid them to do it very well.
Oh.
And then so they felt they could be here and there when they wanted to. And that just doesn't work for me. If I'm paying you $16 an hour to be at a job to train a dog, then that's where I feel you need to be, not your mom calling in for you and not this and that. And, you just get sick of it. And you get sick of having plans with your friends and having to cancel because people call in and, this bills comes due. And, they don't realize the American dream also comes with utilities, internet, employees, insurance,
All the overhead costs.
everything. That's, yeah.
So let's contrast that. So the American dream can be very expensive in brick and mortar. It can be very complicated. It can be very difficult from a management standpoint. What is the advantage of doing the American dream through digital like you're doing?
For me, it's just more freedom. I want to, and I feel bad because I wasn't there for our daughter growing up. I worked, I always taught, I started working at 14 years old. I was playing sports, going to school, working, and then, that was our life. That's what we were taught from a young age growing up. But what you don't realize in personal development when you start learning that is that's not really how life is supposed to cut out to be. You're not supposed to work 40 hours a week for 40 years and then retire for 10 on minimal of nothing. That's just honestly not how life is not supposed to be. So when I started making a transition into a more personal development, I'm like, wait a minute. There's more out here for me. God put me here for more than a reason than to be serving these people for and just doing so much where I don't have time for my family and my life. I have to put myself first and be 100% before I can give myself to anyone else. And that's just, I feel like being at home and working my business online, I can go live with people. I can talk to people. I can be in my pajamas, party on the bottom, business up top, and, cut it on and off. And it's a lot easier for me than having to be at a physical location 15 hours a day. And not taking care of my family, my dogs, my home life. And I can still do all that and run my business and spend time with my family and my friends and FaceTime my grandkids in the middle of the day. And
So you have more free time being in the digital business
Absolutely.
than brick and mortar. So that's one of the advantages.
And I'm not a type of person that, so I work all year and then, so I get a paid 10, 14 days vacation. That's not the life I want to live. I would rather vacation every day and work. Be somewhere working and on vacation than having to work, 40 hours a week and then, I need to take this specific time off to be on vacation. I want to be able to schedule that stuff. I want to be able to run my life the way I want to. We only have a short time here. So I want to be able to love my life and my family and give them all the time and opportunity I can while I'm here.
That's great. So shifting from brick and mortar to digital, what were the things you had to spend most of your time and energy focused on in the brick and mortar world, and what do you spend most of your time and energy focused on your digital business now? What are the differences?
It's still really making that connection with people. Like my business still before was helping dogs. Now I just want to help people understand that they can live a better life without the chemicals and, without all that. So it's really just education and putting yourself out there and connecting with people. And that's what I do on a daily basis. So I research everything I want to do. I know my business inside and out. I know that there are people out there that don't want to get up and go to work every day, that would rather spend time and get their kids off to school and then work from home. And then, be done at 2:00 and be able to bring their kids home from school and cook dinner. And, that's the life I grew up. And if I could do that back then, I would have so jumped on it and didn't think about it. But my thought back then was just the grind. So right now for me, just switching it around, I guess it's it's making time. It's still, because you're still running a business, so you can't be lazy. And running a business from home is not for everyone.
Absolutely.
You cannot. I mean, because there's so many people out there that would rather watch Netflix, that would rather sit on Facebook all day, and you just can't do that. You have to be driven. You still have to have a drive to want to do what you want to do to run a business. And if you don't have that, it's not going to work.
Yeah. What have you found? What have you found you need to do to keep yourself focused on business while you're working from home? I know folks they will run they could work from home, but they work out at a co-working space, or they actually have an office that they rent or something, because they. When you have a business, you need to treat it like a job, whether you work from home or a different location.
Exactly.
They need in their life a place to go to separate themselves from the distractions and the feeling of being home. How do you do that, and what are the things you try to stay focused on when you're working from home?
First and foremost, like my personal development. I mean, that's always one thing, and I mean, that's how I try to connect with people, because they just don't realize that putting yourself first before your kids, before your husband, you're not going to be able to take care of everyone else. So I meditate in the morning, and then I always have my special spaces. Like you, I journal. I started journaling. I write this down. What are your thoughts? What are your visions? What do you want to do? Where do you see yourself in 3 months, in 5 years? You know, it has to be written down. If not, then you just might as well put yourself back going to that 40-40 and never having it. So you really have to make the time to put it away. If, you know, I have to plan a Zoom or go live at 11 o'clock, then that's what I have to do. No matter if it's Wednesday and I woke up, I still didn't feel good, or, you know, I would rather go party and have fun. And we're in Vegas, right? So I could go do this and this and this instead of, but you still have to be disciplined. You still have to want your business to succeed. You still have to want to help people. You still have to want to connect with people. And that's what people lose a lot with the digital business, because it isn't going in and talking to someone face to face anymore. But I still want to be there and be that person. I just want to be able to do it online. And you know that I'm there for you behind the computer whenever you need me. It's just a different switch.
So for some of the folks who are thinking about maybe shifting into a digital business, or if you're watching and you are in a brick and mortar business and you're thinking about adding a digital component to your business, which would be a really good idea right now, if you can add that digital component to your business and have another revenue stream coming in.
Absolutely.
So I get the sense that a lot of what you do as part of the business is connecting with customers and connecting them with the right product.
Yes.
How do your customers find you, or how do you find your customers in that customer acquisition phase before you connect with them?
It's really hard. Because, I mean, going into a digital business, one thing for me, like, I could never talk in front of people. I'm very social. You could drop me into a room of 500 people. I'd make friends with 499 of them before I left. But you put me on a stage singly to talk to someone, I will clam up like a shell. So I had to learn how to get myself out there, put myself out there, tell people my story, what worked for me, what I've been through. I used to be over 250 pounds, going in and out of this vicious doctor cycle, in and out, you know, and you have to put your story out there, and you have to tell them the good and the bad and be able to connect with you, or it's just not going to work. You can't put yourself out there and half-assedly, I guess you would say. You either have to be real or not be real, and people are going to connect with you or they're not going to connect with you. And I just put myself out there hoping people connect with me and my story, and hoping they come back.
And how are you putting yourself out there? Are you doing YouTube, organic social media? Are you doing paid Facebook, Google ad, all of the above? What have you done? What are you doing, and what's worked for you and what hasn't?
Well, so honestly, we used to do, with our dog training business, we used to do a lot of paid advertisements. Now I get those things to me when I'm doing this business, and I'm like, I don't want to pay for followers. So I have actually never done it. So basically YouTube. Okay. I have a YouTube channel. I do Facebook Lives. I put myself out there on all my social media channels. I have business cards, and I just try to get my story out there to let people know that, you know, your life. I mean, my 9-year-old granddaughter did a live video with her mom the other day, and that's what really sunk in with me, honestly, because, I'm going to get teary. She actually, like, just sat back and she's like, you know, if you need to go follow my grandma. She talks about all this mindfulness stuff and how to follow your dreams, and you just don't realize the people that are watching you and who you're touching until you go out there and you keep putting it out there so many times. And I guess that's when it really hit me that what I'm doing is working. And you're never going to build up people or rapport with anyone, or even a following, unless you keep putting yourself out there, good or bad, and letting me know your story. It just isn't going to work. People won't connect with you.
I think that's so important, and not just in digital business. If you're trying to use YouTube and social media and digital channels to try to acquire customers, to bring customers in, even if you are brick and mortar, even if you need to put yourself out there. So many business owners, when they start, make the mistake of they buy their laptop and they set it up on their desk and they open up the laptop and they kind of clap their hands like this and say, okay, I'm ready for the customers. I'm ready for the customers to show up. And then,
They don't work
like 15 minutes later, they're scrolling on their phone because they're ready for the customers to show up, which is great. But unless you've really stumbled on something really magical, you do have to put some work in to connect with your customers. It's all about connection, and as you were saying, and so there are all those different avenues out there. You have found that organic social media, YouTube, has worked great for you, and I think that's great. That's a real success story, because that is getting more and more rare, where organic is where it's at these days.
And
so
that's what I'm
great.
just trying, like, you get those things all the time, especially on, I find it with Instagram. Oh, let me grow your following. And I'm like, I'm at 924 and I've done all this myself. I think I'm good. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what I want to, I'm 46. Who starts their life over at 46 years old? Not too many people. And so it was just hard for me to, I guess, take a look back and realize that, especially with personal development, that I kind of ran our business into we did, because we were bringing in the wrong type of people. You know what I mean? Like, you do it yourself. You don't realize what you're bringing in. And it just wasn't our dream. So until you just get slapped in the face like that, you can sit and be miserable, or you can sit and be like, you know what? I'm ready. This is not all I was put here for. I was put here for a reason. God has a better plan out there for me. And, you just sometimes have to take that leap of faith, no matter what it is or how bad you feel it's going to hinder you. And, I've been living, honestly, the least, how can I put this? The least monetarily I have in the past 2 years. And I haven't been happier than I have been in 18, 20 years owning a business, because it's just, you struggle and you try to do so much for so many people, and then you get that thing where then they can just take from you, and where your heart's too good and you're too nice to people, so you get taken advantage of.
You tried brick and mortar. You already in digital business right now. Which one do you think which one is more disadvantage and advantage based
in this day and
on the
age?
difference?
Absolutely, I would say digital, because look, I had 20 years experience. I had kids coming in from a year of dog training school undercutting my prices by $200, and who do you think they were going to? They didn't even offer a guarantee, and we offered literally lifetime follow-up classes with your dog. So you always have that guarantee, but sometimes people just want the least amount that it costs, the least amount to do, and that's just not where the quality is for me. I learned at a young age from my mom and dad, there's some things you don't skimp on. Toilet paper, trash bags, you know what I mean? Like, and it's just like with business. There's some things you have to invest in to get it back. And
you've heard us say it before on the show, don't compete on price, but there is a lesson here, that young savvy kids 1 year out of dog training school were really working the marketing channels, the social media channels, and they were able to bring someone in by competing on price.
Yes.
But so if there are some businesses you must do as brick and mortar, right? Dog training is really hard to do exclusively digitally, but it doesn't mean you can't move into the 21st century with your marketing, with your customer service, with your support. Those are all opportunities. If you have a brick and mortar business, and you have to be a brick and mortar business, there may be opportunities in the way you support your business and you acquire your customers, where you don't have to do things the old school way.
Absolutely.
That's really great.
And that, it's good you brought that up, because I'm actually doing that right now. Besides Ariel, my network marketing business, we're actually starting another business where I'm going to be making crystals for us and our four-legged family members. People don't realize that they need healing in that way as well. And, you look out and it's just not done at all. So why are not people doing it? So yeah, it's going to be, you're going to see me expand. Hopefully you'll see me expand hugely here. I'm just looking to leave a legacy for our daughter and grandchildren. That's really, I grew up working since 14 years old, and you grow up that way, but it's really just not how life's supposed to be. So I want them to be able to enjoy their life with their children and, their family and their kids without having to worry about money and every single day of their life, like half of us grew up.
That's excellent. All right, so before we take a break and bring on our next guest, tell us about some of the favorite products you have that you sell, and then tell the audience where they can reach you, so they can buy your products, but also get in touch with you and and connect with you and learn more about your
Awesome.
story.
So I'm Shelly Ray. I am a network marketing. I am a rock star with Ariel. We sell CBD, CBG, nootropic products, anything to make you healthier and happier the vegan way. All natural products that your body is made to absorb the way God intended it to. Not chemicals, not all this other stuff. It's what's made me drop over 120 pounds and completely change my life around at 46 years old. So you can find me on Facebook, Shelly Stanton Ray, or shellray.vegas is my website. So you can always catch me there as well.
All right. Sounds great. Well,
Thanks for having me today as well.
this has been excellent. Please stick around. We're gonna
I
have
learned
you.
a lot.
We're gonna have you meet Commander Bruce. We're gonna have all of you meet Commander Bruce here in just a minute. But stick around. Come back to Vision to Success.
Yes.
Getting your business started, if you're with your business, trying to get those customers, trying to communicate what you do, you've always got to come back to the first one is your overall business strategy. And like we said, that starts with defining why you started your business, who you're doing it for, and how you help them. We help people with the nuts and bolts pieces of their business, turn your dream, your spark of an idea into reality.
Hey, welcome back to Vision to Success. I think that's all my line for today. And we are here with the two new guests with our Eagle Leadership Coach,
Yes, hi, I'm back too.
Jason.
So, So, well, I am very excited, as I told you all at the top of the show and have said over and over again since the show started, that I'm very excited because we have Commander Bruce with us today.
Hey, glad
and
to be here.
If you watched us last week, we had your good friend and protege, Amani Ortiz, last week.
Yeah,
so
I
if you want to
Yeah,
see
we
them
were
again.
Old friends.
Yeah, old friends. That's why I was like
That's
excited to have
awesome,
him.
yeah.
That's why I was glad to see him.
Yeah. So welcome to the show. It's great to
Thank
have
you.
you here.
Yes.
So-
Sure is, and I'm very proud of Maria over there. I have been saying to her and her team that I was coming, but I can't believe how time just been flying
Yeah.
by so fast.
It's
But,
crazy.
I've
but
known
I always
Bruce.
learn one thing: take time out for friends. So I said, "Wait a minute,
Absolutely.
let's do this." You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've known Bruce actually on previous channel, channel, and that's where we met, and we became friends, and he knows all the plan for the social media shows from the
Yeah.
beginning. Before it's social media shows, he knows.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
true.
so he is kind of part of this behind the scene. And thank you so much for coming in today.
Yeah.
Yes,
looking
before
forward to
that,
talking to
go
you.
ahead and introduce to our audience what you do,
Okay.
what company you represent. I know
Okay.
you represent very good. I'm excited about this, so go ahead.
Okay. Well, first of all, you're looking at someone I was impressed by when you were saying 14. I sat over there and laughed because I've been in broadcasting since the age of 14 years. This is all I've ever done. I was blessed to be in it. My family come from Huntsville, Alabama, so I grew up around NASA and the space program, and that's how all those commander names come into play. But we're the first African American in the United States to have a black-owned radio station, and so therefore, to me, I've seen the whole evolve. I mean, most people grow up and want to make it a habit. I used to cry, and everybody in the family was wanting to be in radio, and I said, I'm not going to be in it. And I wind up, my brothers as the doctors and professors and stuff, and I'm the only one who came out being a DJ.
After you said you weren't.
The only one. I said, I'm never going to do this in my family. And so, but it's been a life journey for me, and it's been awesome. I mean, I've been, this city I'm in now was part of that 14-year-old experience because I was living in California, and I was getting ready to, just kick back. I said, well, I did radio. I'm going to kick off. I'm going to go to La Jolla and just kick back and live a good life. And Vegas at the time was hot on real estate, about like it's getting now.
Like now?
And so some real estate agents called me and said, could you come down here and market for us? And I said, okay, I'll come down and help, because before I moved. And so when I came down here, and I honestly, just cut it short, I went to a station, which y'all probably all know if you're local, called KLAV. And I went to buy the advertising. And a lady named Peggy Merrill and John Lincoln were there. And I never will forget when she said these words. And I had a check for like $3,000 for the buy time. She said, well, we sell block programming, and people can sell their own shows and everything. And I said, what did you just say? She said, you pay me, and then you can go out and get your own sponsors. I said, okay, I'll be right back. I'll be right back. I went back to the owner, gave him their check, quit that job, went back and bought my show and started Nights Over Las Vegas.
Nice
Nice.
over
That
Las
was-
Vegas.
Yeah,
15 years
you're like,
later,
wait a
never
minute,
went
this
back.
doesn't add up.
That's exactly what happened.
Wow, nice
And I
over
kicked on the
Vegas.
air the same exact time that Howard Stern went on satellite. I saw the internet, and everybody was laughing. Who's going to listen on the internet? But I knew that everybody was not going to keep paying to have satellite. Because remember,
Absolutely.
Chevy was the only, you bought a Chevy, you get free satellite for a year. I caught that, and I said, yeah, but the internet's going to be free. And I said, I'm going to start my show. And I started on KLAV because they had online and people laughing. Oh, who's listening online? And today, moving faster to this time, I'm on the only station in the world at the moment that is an internet station. There's a big difference between having your individual program, that's called iPod, but a station like FM and AM. The only one right now is coming out of Las Vegas.
Yep.
Wow.
We're making major history.
Yes.
And a lot of people not aware of that, and that team effort, meaning you turn it on. But I was happy when Apple picked us up. I knew right then you changed, because you're dealing with the 50 billion people
Yeah.
Yep.
on the planet. So
That's
you'll never have to
amazing.
ask who's listening. So your statement and changing your business forms, you're right on target. Mortar and brick business, are they going out of business? Of course not. We all want to communicate. But for me, the COVID-19 crisis wind up being an indirect blessing to the people who were doubting social media, because the only way you were communicating in this world was through social media. You couldn't go to the store, you couldn't do this. If you were marketing, you couldn't go out and say one-on-one, but you could go online. And we were in the middle of all this crisis, and I was sharing with the people around me, saying, you know what? Opportunities, you got to know when to take advantage of it. And right now, if there's every chance to get people to be aware that I have not listened to what I call terrestrial radio in my car in almost 3 years.
Wow.
Because I'm online. I have my phone, I got my Bluetooth.
Yeah.
I sat in the island of the Philippines and listen to my program.
Wow.
I have truck drivers and my buddies at UPS that drive across country. They don't have to change dial. They can listen to me in the dial. You got so many media channels. You can't hear it live. You go to Mixcloud. You want to hear all day Commander, you can. All day this show. So we're at a great pivoting point in the next May 1st, you might, those that watch my Facebook, you hear me saying that on May 3rd, Nights Over Las Vegas Prime. Well, the even way I came up with that number, being a guy from England, was on the plane, and I'd never been here. When I was coming here to meet those investors with the real estate, the pilot said, well, we're going to have to circle around Lake Mead. And here, and I looked at that, I'm like, damn, we're in the desert. There's no water out here. I had never been to Las Vegas. So Lake Mead. And then it was about 5:30, and by the time we landed, well, anybody that's flown know that Las Vegas plane looked like it literally landed on the Strip. And I just looked out the window and said, wow, if I ever had a show, I'd call it Nights Over Las Vegas. Never thought I would have one, because that was never my thought. And the reason I like that the name stuck is because everybody on the planet at somewhere knows of Las Vegas. So people, that's run into sometimes people who've been here a long time, and they go like, oh, I get tired of Vegas. I say, you know what, you may be, but the world, Las Vegas is popular. That's like the French Paris. I don't care where you go. And just Sunday, I was watching a story of how Vegas started on the public channel. It was amazing. It came to be a little town, and told the story of how everything developed, the people to to Boulder City. I actually went out there, and I was like, you know what, it's interesting. And that was just how it developed, less more than entertainment.
Yep.
And to be a radio announcer in the international capitals of the world, that was a blessing for me, for someone who wasn't going to be in it.
And I think that's a great lesson here. You were open to an opportunity when it came up. You weren't even looking for an opportunity. And I think that's the real takeaway here is be open to opportunities as they come up. And it may not hit you as quick as it hit Commander Bruce here, but be open to those opportunities. Be open to how you might move your business into digital from brick and mortar, or add that new area to it. Just be open.
That's true.
Staying closed-minded about, this is the way we've always done business. This is what I've always done. You miss things. If you hadn't been open to that opportunity, you might still be buying time for real estate investors on the radio.
Absolutely. And I was standing over there watching the interview with you guys, and this technology, because of Maria and has this program, I was able to hit a button, and I have no how many thousands of people are watching just off of my live part, and then they do it live. And I tell clients, one of the biggest things I run into in the marketing that I know you all experience with sponsors, and if you haven't, you will too, is people will tell you, oh, okay, but who listening? Well, let me tell you something. If everybody's listening, then they say, well, who's watching this show? Traditional media, it takes a long time. It'll take me 5 minutes. How many listeners do you want? Now, I did hear your comment, and some part of I agree about not buying, but as a businessman, if $20 will get 20,000 people to see your business,
Right.
I'm shutting the door.
Right.
There ain't nothing can touch that.
Yeah.
Social media is the only way. That's what make us so unique.
Yeah.
We'll never have to worry about somebody saying, well, nobody know who I am. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And there's
We
always
can
people
tell
watching
them.
on social media. That's the crazy thing. They're always watching, whether it's they're going to watch and fall back and wait till that live is over so you don't know that they're watching.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
watching you,
Well,
regardless.
well, right now it's bigger than ever because people got nothing to do. They living on those things. And the person that you think and watch is your friend.
Yeah.
You see, you say, if you got 10 friends, you're already ready to do business, people. You don't need 200 or 300. Because if that 10 plus that 10, it grows. Because your friends, they got friends. And when you buy, when you promote, notice that all your friends gonna see. So you have to word your content to where it's sociable and be what it is. Social media. Social media, you're supposed to be able to relate it personally. You're not supposed to, I got this to sell. That's not social media. Social media say, hey, look, when you have time, check me out.
Yep.
I'm doing
Now
some,
everybody gonna do that.
I'm doing some fun stuff like
Yeah.
this show. Share it with your friends.
Yeah, it is.
I'm doing some fun stuff. Come watch if you
They
got
the
some
one that
time.
make,
Right.
Yeah.
believe me, they do. And it don't
And-
take but one to change it. The right person see your show. I have, little adopted dogs that were abused and I raised them. I mean, two little chihuahuas, but their character. But it's people like you that are important. If you really keep just putting it out there, they will even want to know, now where do I go to now touch you? That's the brick and mortar. That's why I tell my brick and mortar customers, you got to tie both together. You don't have to leave one or the other, because you can't heal the dog through just on the computer. It's not going to happen. At some
Right.
point, they got to be a human touch.
Right.
They need to do both, because I agree with you. I see a lot of people say, oh, well, I can get a show like podcast. And I said, I teach them, don't compete, because real people, business people like us and people out there watching, we know when something's real. So they may get, the ones may underbid you, but that won't last long,
Right.
because everybody wants to feel touched. And if you can tie that into your way anyway, at the end of all my programs, I always say, I do love you. Everybody think it's a cliche. To me, I'm thinking about a person out there who ain't been told they got love by
Yes.
somebody. Mine's coming genuine.
I love that.
So it bounces
Yep.
all over everybody else.
So
but
you
that
don't
one
worry about what
person-
people say.
No.
Yep.
Oh, that's
You
the way to
can't.
fail
You
in this
can't-
business.
yes, absolutely.
First time you
Yep.
do that, sayonara.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I
And
love.
that's why so many people fail in this business, honestly, because they do a live and then they want to get that network marketing
It's the
business
person
and
that's
get rich,
closest
and then
to you.
yeah,
No, it
Not
doesn't work.
individual, and it don't have to be the husband, wife, or friend, or buddy, but double listen to the people close to you,
Yep.
because that's where the person out there complaining and grabbing, they can't do nothing. You up there trying to correct.
And they're not
them.
going to
It's the
either.
one that tell you, well, you sure you want to do that? You better do some thinking,
yeah.
because that you
Yes.
might be on the right track, and now all of a sudden,
I think the biggest with what we do, all of us on the social media and the internet, our biggest fans are the one who doesn't like us, because they keep on looking of what we do, and I love that part. I keep on telling everybody that every time there's a viewer or follower, make sure you treat them the same, they
Yeah.
like you or not.
that's true.
Yeah.
Your
But do
haters
be
certainly help
careful
you
though,
grow.
because you're a person that don't like you. I saw your comment on one of your shows. You said that, and it has merit to it, But in our business, and someone who's been in all his life, if you want to see it today, look at politicians. They all been running and been successful, and in the minute they have a bad date or say a bad word or do the wrong thing, all that good stuff is gone.
Yeah, it's that.
And everybody
Yeah.
focus on that, and your
That-
haters now really maximize that. So to me, I still say leave negativity alone and support the people that care about you. Because when you're spending time with them that hate you, the people that care about you, you know, they trying to hold you up. Give the people a big hug, and they gonna move on to the next person. Oh, okay, her show gone. Now who else we finna get to?
Yeah.
Why you wasted all that energy on them? That's my advice. Okay, how many fans I lost?
Well, Commander, so you actually been on the, on a traditional radio station.
Absolutely, and
And
traditional
then
radio
you-
will be here.
Yes, and then you transition into, internet radio, but you're still on the traditional, correct? Am I
No.
correct? Yeah.
You
So
see,
how-
that's it. That's what I was. Thank you for asking that question. I came in the beginning on internet radio. Nobody believed it. It was just like when Facebook first came out. That was before Facebook. I'm dating. You better help me out, partner. That was my face. You ever heard of that? You?
Yep.
Okay,
I
good.
miss MySpace.
But MySpace was more popular than Facebook. But Facebook marketed themselves and then they built a company. I came on KLAV AM, but I went there because it streamed on the internet. So I've been on the internet fighting that when people go like, who's listening? Who's listening?
Right.
It got commercialized popular, all due to credit to iHeart. All of a sudden you heard everybody go, oh man, iHeart Radio. They throw a concert. Well, when you throw money behind anything, you get more success.
And it was-
But people were still on the internet.
And it was a number of years. You really had to stick with it for a number of years before, both on AM simultaneously streamed on the internet before
Exactly.
iHeart came along and really started
Exactly.
to put some
And
money
si-
behind. Let's
and they
talk
made
about
it-
the internet.
A one station, iHeart Music. What we have today is a radio station where you can hear music, talk, information. That's what made a difference. But the internet, my goal was, and thanks to Imani and all the people behind the scene and the people who helped me over the year, my goal was to be the radio announcer of the world. And nothing enjoy me better is when I'm playing my music and people in Hong Kong, Africa, Jamaica, Australia, New England call in and say, hey man, I'm enjoying it. Because that's why my slogan is daytime is in some parts of the world and night. I'm also learning how to deliver that message. Nobody's doing that.
Well, both of you in your business or in your, in your profession, it's really important for us to actually touch people hard.
Absolutely.
Because we inspires. When you were in brick mortar, you inspires people because you educate them, right? And now you're still educating them in your digital
Right.
business.
Absolutely.
So a lot of business people believe in referring people through word of mouth. Now it's kind of like not
Word of
really
mouth will
word
always
of
be number one. Dude.
Yes, I agree with that.
Nothing beats
so
that.
yes. So it is still how do you think it's actually transferred into digital for the word of mouth?
I do interviews and I have the people on the phone. That's the person live talking. That's how I try to do it through my medium. But you can't beat word of mouth. It's if somebody said that's some good food and it came word of mouth, I'm from the South, that's good. Somebody
Right.
said on digital, and then you look behind the scene, he's sitting there with Poochie and they mixing some stuff all up that ain't good.
Right.
So what do you think about businesses nowadays? We evolve into
Yeah.
new technology. What do you think about businesses who still believe in word of mouth and they don't want to go digital?
They need to catch up with
It's
time.
gonna
I think they're
hinder
missing
them a
out.
lot.
I mean, they're missing
Yeah,
out on a
they're
great
missing on
opportunity.
May.
That's why
they're not gonna make it. They need to be educated.
that's
like
why
it
the
is.
share button in social media, and if you have a business or
I like to call it the
media
two
venture-
C's actually: consistency and connection,
Yeah.
and that's what I try to put out every day. If I can
Absolutely.
connect with you and be consistent about it, you're going to come back to me in
Every time.
4 months, 6 months when you do need that, when
And-
you're looking for that.
and those people are connected with you. Someone may search for CBD products online. If they just
Mm-hmm.
find a Google search, they may look at a few things, and that's okay. But if one of your customers shares what you have going on, or someone shares your show, they say, well, if Maria likes it, I'm going to give it a try.
Right.
The share button is so important. Don't underestimate that share button in digital.
Yeah.
And put
And the
pictures
word of mouth,
their
like you said, like
CBD.
seriously, that's just getting someone to tell you what you've done and you need to go see this person is the
blows
best
you away.
advertisement.
It feels good to you
Yeah.
because sometimes I read comments. Just during Black History Month, which just left in February, I just was at home 2 a.m. I just put up a story about the family, just what I share with you in detail. If you go to my Facebook, Bruce Commander Garrett, and I put a picture up of our station because when we were the first African American to own it, but this was back in 1958. I mean, I was a kid, but the trailer was in a trailer, not a trailer mobile home in today's. You know, I'm talking about a trailer that you see with Jack hamburgers on it. That's how we started.
Wow.
That's
a pink trailer.
That's amazing.
That's the
That's
book.
awesome.
And rented
That's so
in a
awesome.
field.
That's the book I want to read next year. is
Yes.
about the family
Yes.
radio station in Huntsville.
Yeah, but if you read it, and if you look at those things, so, and that is how you start. Like this, you can go from the studio, but look, we're here. But you know how many people you could do? You could pay $10,000. See, right now, Hollywood and other places across the country, they're trying to figure out how to catch up with what you're doing.
You know, I like the one, I heard this from one of my friends that this pandemic actually put us all in reset buttons where we all is starting all over again. So Hollywood, us with this regular, kind of small streaming company, those podcasts, those radio station, everybody actually starting all over again on the ground. So we have a really good leverage on getting the
A
same.
lot of them will not.
Yeah.
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 That's very nice you said that, because driving over, I was gonna say just that through your media to people that we gotta realize the world stopped, and it's just like being on a cruise. If you like me, love cruises, but when that boat stopped and she started back up, it takes a long time. You leave out of Los Angeles on your cruise, it's 6 hours before you start really seeing the ocean. Because you ride for hours and hours. I'm still looking at LA. I'm going like, I'm getting away from there.
Yeah.
You
Thought
know
we
what I mean?
left. I thought we were out of
You
here.
know what I mean? But the world has stopped, and things, for some of us who want that second chance, and me, I live every day as if as you just said, it's a new opportunity.
Yeah. Gotta keep an eye out.
You got to be focused, but I also said, listen to that second voice. We all ignore it. I do it, you do it, everybody. But I think we all need to.
Because we're all too comfortable.
We need to go ahead and listen to it.
It is what it is.
And just act on it. Because
Yes.
sometimes it's going against what you want. It could tell you, like, you don't need to be around these people, but you like these people, and you say, well, I can't do that. And then later on down the road, you found some of your destruction and stuff became because of these people. And you said, I should have listened. But I can't say, but when you're in business, and we are talking about a social media business show, it's about taking chances. You're going to win, you're going to lose, but winners fall, dust off, and get back up and try it again. But if you don't never try, you'll never know.
Never know.
Yeah.
Yes.
The best you're gonna do if you don't take chances is you might just be getting by.
You might be just
You
getting
might
back.
be just getting by if you're not taking chances. You've got to look for those new opportunities. You've got to
Yes.
take those chances if you really want to grow and succeed.
You know, whenever we told our friends and family we were closing down our dog training 3 locations and moving out to pursue our dreams, one of my bestest friends of me for years actually looked at me right in my face and told me I was fucking stupid. So, you know, it goes to show you how comfortable people get in their own, like when you go to do something, it's like, you know, I'm put here for more than this. I believe in my dreams and I'm going to pursue them. And it doesn't matter where you're at. People are like, you're making this amount of money. Why would you go do that? Because this isn't enough for me. I want more. out of my life. I believe I was put here for more. And many people just let that go by without ever. They let people write their own book their whole life, and I refuse to let people write my own chapters anymore.
Well, money, it's not the answer if you're trying to have a career.
Right.
I can tell you that I've been doing
Yes.
this since a kid. Because I have people walk up and say, well, if he got all this, how come he ain't doing that? I look at their life, I have peace of mind. I'm at peace. You're struggling, you're worried about something. It's a big difference.
Yeah.
When you have a dream, if it mean I work 4 jobs and I'm living my dream and I'm happy, why are you tripping? Why do
are
I
you worried
need to
about
make
it?
a high price job? Somebody telling me what to do, and I make a lot of money, so what? Everybody can get it when I'm gone? No.
Right.
No.
Well, I
That's
agree
why
with
in
that.
living in Las Vegas,
Mm-hmm.
Las Vegas is one of the most beautiful places for people with dreams and ideas for 2 reasons. One, it's not embarrassing if you are working at Circus Soleil and you're up there flying through the air, and on your day job, you'll tell at the bank. You go to other cities, you got 2 jobs, people think that's an insult. And people buy that.
That's the
My friends go like, well, why are you working so 2 jobs? I'm going like, what are you talking about? I'm smart enough to know that my habit and my enjoyment costs money. And since you ain't giving me none, I'm working. And everybody here in Vegas gets it. But
Yeah.
you get out of this city, go live in any other town, and you work 2 jobs part-time, like, oh man.
that's a
That's an
secret.
embarrassing. I thought you
Right.
was rich.
That's the good thing about digital these days is you can get more than 2 jobs actually. So everybody is having a lot of jobs, any money streams that they could. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Go ahead and tell us where they can find your shows.
Well, yeah. Well, you can find my radio program, Nights Over Las Vegas, prime time now. And it's on the #1 online internet station, and that's 22.3 Takeover Vegas Radio. And I just want to tell everybody, add applemusic.com if you got iPhone to your phone, or if you don't have iPhone, everything else is Android, add tunein.com on your phone. So when you got that fancy car, then use it and
Yes.
teach
Bluetooth.
grandma, granddad, because the young kids, babies, they know how to hook it up so they can listen to their favorite music, because we have from music for the young people talk, old school, jazz,
Everything.
international music, and education too, because we have a lot of people on there.
Yes. And again, Shelly, where they can find you, where they can buy your product.
Oh, Ariel.com/dynamic duo or shellray.vegas. And you can find me on Facebook at Shelly Stanton Ray.
Well, I think we're done here. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Jason.
Thanks
Any
for
last
having
words?
us.
No,
Yes.
check out both of these. A lot of great shows on 22.3 Takeover Radio. Definitely check it out. Most importantly, check out Commander Bruce
Thank you, my
Yes.
friend.
and
Thank
check
you.
out Shelly's products as well. Thank you for joining us today.
Yes, we'll see you guys again in 2 weeks.